I think we're all good. Are you guys good to go on your end?
Yeah.
Eric, are you?
Yes, I am good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hopefully things will work out a little bit better with your audio this week, Eric.
Mhm.
I had a nightmare recording.
Oh.
Editing all of the stuff, and it was no one's actual fault except for Eric's computer.
I'm blaming technology. Yeah. I gotta say,
Yeah.
looking at me in the monitor, I look like I'm out of a Color Me Bad video. Like this is this is a look right here. I got the mic like, yeah, girl, yeah. Got the mic. Yeah, got the mic right here. What's that?
MC Golden Trash Can.
Yeah, golden trash can, girl.
Yeah, whatever happened with those buttons? Because you...
I'm going to make them. It was just the whole, they were going to be an incentive to write a review for Out of the Fridge. And just going to give them to people as like a reward. Like, here's a button, golden trash can. It was like an inside joke,
Yeah.
but...
It was fucking hilarious, too.
Yeah. I wish I had that clip. I wish I could play it still. But
I mean,
yeah.
it's on their episodes unless they took it down, but I doubt they did.
No, yeah, it's just weird. Like, I'm just gonna pilfer this one part of it. I mean, it's my audio. I've made it. That's me, baby. My voice. But I haven't made it yet. I've got the art. Randy, the artist, he commissioned it for me. It's really awesome because if you look closely at it, it has like a flaming arrow next to the trash can, and the arrow's even purple
nice.
for Hawkeye.
Oh.
So Melissa is completely lost
Okay,
here. She's
so-
not in
I
on
think
this
I've heard you
inside
say these words
joke.
before, but I can't figure out what they
So-
mean.
I want to. Oh, okay. So it was. We always did special bonus episodes when we would go to the different Comic Cons, and this was at Rose City in 2017. We did our standard wrap up of like, hey, here's the cosplayers we talked to and the creators we interviewed and like food we ate and whatever, just like our general. Here's what the weekend was, and then at the end, I was real tired, yet real caffeinated and like real sugared up, and I went on like a 20-minute rant about how when I die, I want a Viking funeral, and I want to be buried in all the shiny like '90s collectors comics that are like worthless now. I want to be like buried in an actual mountain of
the
them.
foil
yeah,
covers
all the foil,
and-
chromiums, all that shit. All the shinier the better. If it says collector's item, that's awesome. So I want to be on a boat full of those. And then I need a Kate Bishop cosplayer to shoot a flaming arrow onto said boat to ignite my bones.
Ignite it.
And then take my ashes and put them in a golden trash can.
Yeah, and what was partly so funny is you were so like hopped up on caffeine and no sleep that he was like half delirious. Like saying this excitedly, just like, dude, guys, we're gonna have a Kate Bishop cosplayer shoot this.
I may have been yelling a little bit, like, it's gonna be great! Flame!
Yeah.
Woo! It was a good time. Yeah.
Kyle,
It was a lot.
what do you want done with your body when you die?
I have no idea.
I've got
I haven't
my
even thought
plan.
that far. I'm like making a Spotify playlist that consists of like Kingdom Hearts songs and stuff like that.
Then you want to play it at your
that's all that I
funeral?
know. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
just
like,
play
let's play
simple
this
and clean
Spotify
as I
playlist.
lowered it to my
That's it.
grave.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I want to be turned into a skeleton, and I want to be.
Well, that's usually what
I was like,
happens.
is that not the normal way to do things? We're like a crystal skeleton? Is it gonna be like,
No,
Indiana
hold
Jones
on.
gonna look for you later? Like, what's up? What you doing?
I want to be like.
Encapsulate my skeleton in adamantium.
I'm not nearly like Canadian enough to do that, but I might be the right height. I want to be like a professional skeleton. I want to be turned into a beautiful, pristine skeleton and donated to a party school to like help the kids learn. But also like they use me in all of their fun pranks and like they take goofy pictures with me and they put like hats on me for the holidays and I'm like their friend.
So you'd be like the
I wanna
mascot
be a-
that they used to haze the freshmen and stuff? Like, they'll just wake up in
Yeah.
bed and you'll just think, the skeleton.
Yes!
And I'm like,
I want to
oh!
do that! That's how I want to live out my afterlife.
I like it.
That would actually be kind of amazing. That would be a lot of fun.
That's
But
the
no,
dream.
I guess before I mention that, this is episode 29 of the Captain's Log. For those of you
Oh yes.
listening in right now, this is our weekly off-topic show, so it's something new every single week. One of the many podcasts that we do here at the Whatnauts. You can be watching live right now on thewhatnauts.com/live streams or on twitch.tv/thewhatnauts. And if you guys cannot make the live streams, that's a-okay. We put this up a week later on podcast services and YouTube, no matter what universe you are in. Yeah. I had a nightmare editing the podcast I guess it was this week. It just went live this morning that we are recording this. I guess it was the episode from last week, episode 28, because Eric's computer kept
fucking up.
I don't know what was happening. It it was fucking up, but I don't even know how to describe how it was fucking up. It seemed like it was skipping frames.
You know how humans can have strokes? Well, my computer had a stroke. Like an actual electronic stroke. It smelled its digital burnt toast, and its memory's just not the same anymore, and it's just a little droopy, but only on the left side. And I'm real sad about it. I'm gonna put it in a home. I'm sorry, computer, but yeah, that's gonna happen.
But so, because it was really strange, because Melissa, your audio synced up or sunk up, if that's the right word. I don't know. It's synced up perfectly. I didn't have to do anything. Once it was set, it was set. Mine had a little hiccups here and there, but for the most part, it was fine. And then Eric's just all the damn time would shorten things. So his if our files were this big, his was that big. So I had to cut things and move it out and cut things and move it out. And I was just like, what is going on? And it took forever. And I was about to, I got to the part where you're talking about, it was Emma or Kate
that was Emma.
That was the nice Emma. I got to that part where you're telling that story, and it was incomprehensible. And I was like, that's one of the best parts of the show. We can't not have that. And I was getting so mad and so upset. I'm like, I might just have to scrap this episode. This is really bad. And on a last ditch thing, I was like, I am going to check the backup, which I imagine would be worse than the actual main audio. And by some weird Christmas miracle, or I guess Thanksgiving miracle,
thank you, Magic Turkey.
Yeah, it was better. The audio quality was better. It wasn't skipping, at least as bad, and everything sunk up. And I was just like, what? How does... I spent 4 hours editing this. God damn it! Why didn't I check this? I was so mad. It was 3 in the morning. I was like, God damn it. Oh well, it happens from time to time. But we are aware of stuff like that, and we are working on them. And
real good at podcasting.
Yeah, we are working on saving up so we can get some better equipment down the road. But I guess that's also a perfect time to plug our Patreon, because we can get there a lot faster if we had some of your guys' help. So if you guys want to see us grow and expand, you guys can hand over your life savings. I don't care if you have a life savings. We could use one though. Fuck your 401k. Just
that should be our actual slogan. The Whatnauts. Fuck your 401k.
Welcome to the Whatnauts. You can support us on Patreon by fucking your 401k and handing it over to us. But yeah, we can use all of the help we can get to make these shows even bigger and better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started Eric, I don't know if you saw it, but I started a Google document that we can now each week add our topics throughout the week.
I should probably check that. Yes.
Yeah. So heads up for that for down the road. But that way
can't hear it, but I'm doing a thumbs up right now.
But yeah, so that way we can kind of get a heads up. We can put stuff on there. Maybe we won't get to all of it. Maybe we'll jump around a bit. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But at least that way we'll be a little bit more organized.
Can dig it.
Melissa, you wanted to second my thing. You
Yes.
I second what you said. I had a weird interaction for dinner tonight. I went to Chipotle.
Okay.
And it was like one of those days you go to a fast food restaurant and it's not that the guy was like hating his job or anything. I think the first girl that started off the food had been working there for a long time, so she knew what she was up to.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy who was doing the salsas and cheeses and stuff like that, I think it was his first day.
Oh.
And so he didn't know as much, and just the combination of them, they had no idea what to do. It seemed like.
No.
I asked for the 3 soft shell tacos. And she started the tacos, and she put the steak on there, but she barely put any steak on. There was 3 or 4 little Lego-sized pieces of steak.
It's not like there's a cow shortage.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Goddamn those cows. Where did they go? But I kind of moved on as she was scooping it out, so I didn't notice it at first. And then I started talking to the next guy, being like, yeah, I'm just going to do this one, that one, and this one. And as I started talking, I then looked back to see it as she moved it on, and she left and was already on the next person. And I was caught so off guard. I was like, I'm sorry. Can you put some more steak on that? Because there was nothing.
You gotta get your money's worth with steak.
Ma'am, Chipotle, not Chipotle. Thank you very much. So I could use some cow. Give me some cow on there, please. I need some beef. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? I'm bringing it back.
I basically live on VCU's campus, and so it's a campus Chipotle, so they do kind of skimp out on the meat because it's college kids and they can do that and get away with it.
College kids are even more poor. That's fucked up, man. Damn, those kids are gonna
Yeah,
die.
they're
You're
getting
killing
less
college
food,
students.
right?
They
You know,
need their
you know how poorly
protein.
college kids eat as it is? Shit.
Yeah, but it's just it's always so packed is the thing. So they're like, we need to conserve our food so we can stay open and serve more people.
Thanks, capitalism.
That is true. I
Yeah.
used to work at the cafeteria in my university for the first year of work study, and then thankfully I was rescued out of there and I got to work in the library, which was a million times better. But I used to work in the deli, just handing people meats and cheeses, and we'd have all these athletes come in and they're like, Coach says I have to eat a pound of turkey. Please give me a pound of turkey, every day. And I'm like,
damn.
I don't know if you're supposed to have this much, but, I guess if Coach said, okay. And eventually I got, snapped at for it. And I'm like, you didn't tell me. I don't know. I trusted Coach.
Were these the
Coach.
wrestlers? Or just, the sports kids?
Wrestlers, football players, just, people that were carrying around, empty milk jugs that had, slogans written on them in puffy paint to inspire them to be healthy. The
Fuck
athletes.
your 401k.
Well, I just... Oh
yeah,
my God.
so...
Wow.
This is just to say, college students sometimes need the most meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Oh! Yeah, they do. College, you gotta experiment.
But like I was like it was one of those things that I was caught so off guard that I didn't know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I stutter when I talk. You guys know that. I'm sure you guys listening have figured that out by now. And so it was like me stuttering mixed with I don't know what to say. I'm starting like 5 sentences and restarting them, and I'm just like, why? Who did? What did the why did you know? And then after that, he finally put some more steak on there, and he started to put the sour cream on, and he put the most sour cream on all of these tacos that I have ever seen anyone put on a taco. It was disgusting.
Get out of there.
Like, oh god.
Go to a better place.
This is not good. I don't go to that Chipotle very often, and tonight I was just like, I want Chipotle, and that's like the only one that's like near me. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Chipotle, and I got there and no one was in the line. I was like, this is fantastic, and yeah, it was just it was sour cream tacos with steak seasoning.
That's great.
That hurts my soul deeply.
I cook, so like I don't doubt a lot, and people always talk about Chipotle, and like I guess I don't get it because I've gone like twice and like it's okay, but like I don't know.
Well, you're also a vegetarian too,
That's
right?
True.
Yeah.
Hard to impress me.
So I mean, I guess I also don't go enough, because when she asked me like what I wanted on the tacos, she asked me, what do you want for your protein? And I was like, you're not even calling it meat?
Yeah, because you've got like the sofritas and other things.
I mean, yeah, sure, like it still works, but I'm just
what
like,
about beans, Kyle?
I'm like, man,
beans are real good protein, and cheese.
I mean, I'm a millennial too, but I guess that like I was like, that's.
Did you just call me millennial? How dare you say? I am not a millennial.
No, me.
Lies.
I said I guess I'm a millennial too, but even that is like too millennial for me. Too Gen Z. I don't know.
Erasing the word meat from our culture.
Like it was just like too hipster for me. I was just like, steak.
My favorite is
meat.
Try a Qdoba. I think they're more meat friendly, and the guac is free. So, and they've got a Coke freestyle machine, so they're advanced in all areas.
Woo!
Yes. Yeah. I like Qdoba, but I usually don't go there. I like Chipotle's steak better, and the real seller for Qdoba for me is they have barbecue sauce, so I can get like barbecue chicken tacos or something like that, and you can't get that at Chipotle. So, I mean, I guess they have like, I guess barbacoa is more hot than barbecue, but I don't know.
I can't eat
whatever.
hot things. I accidentally bought a spicy TV dinner this week to take to work for lunch, and I ate 3 bites.
How bold of you!
I ate 3 bites and I felt like death, and I gave up on it, and then I just ate Pop-Tarts for lunch. And then it's like 5 o'clock, and I'm like, why am I hungry? Because I ate Pop-Tarts for lunch.
My pure sugar diet didn't work. Yeah, that's rad.
They said to eat what the vending machine had.
But so I mean, have you guys had experiences that are just like really weird fast food experiences like that?
Yes.
I've got one.
Yes.
So we're about to road trip to Portland. It went to the fucking Jack in the Box down the street, and they had installed this machine that they wanted you to order from. And even though there's people standing right there, they're like, "Sir, no. Order from the machine, and you'll get free tacos." Like, what if I don't care about the fucking free tacos? I just want to order my food, and like, just try it. And they're like real, like they didn't say they wouldn't take my order, but they were like very clearly trained to like, please God, like I got the vibe that like they would get in trouble if I didn't order from the goddamn machine. And so like I'm an old man, so I'm just like boop, 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 and it's like 7 a.m. and I have to drive to fucking Portland, which is like 2 hours away. I'm tired as fuck. Like I needed this coffee so bad in my body, and I'm like hitting all the wrong buttons. I'm getting real mad, and I'm just like this grumpy old man. Like there's people right there. Like I'm looking right at them. And I'm like breaking the machine, and I finally get my food, and they give me my 2 stupid tacos, and I'm not gonna eat. It's those cheap ass, gross, fucking with the American processed cheese on them, jacking them. Like they're not good. So, like I don't care if they're free; they're disgusting. I'm not gonna eat this shit.
It's 7 a.m. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
like
wanna
it's
eat
too
that
early for this
breakfast.
shit. And so I got my food when I finally got it. I think it was mostly what I ordered, and I finally got my coffee. But like it was just this weird thing where it was like I don't know if it was just that Jack in the Box, because I don't go to fast food that much, but it was a very temporary thing because I never saw it again. But it was just like I had to order from the goddamn machine, even though everyone was clearly right there, and it was some fucking bullshit. And I never felt like a grumpier old man in that moment. Well, this is ridiculous. Like, I need to talk to the manager here. I mean, because this is like, yeah, it was real bad, and I hated it, and it sucked, and I felt like this.
What if the manager's also a computer? What if
That'd
that's
be rad.
his son?
That would have been the best if they're like, sir, here's the HK57. And I'm like,
I'm
like,
sorry, sir.
You start talking to him and it's firmware updating. You're like, God damn. Like, I feel like that's the
one
future,
day
yeah.
that's gonna happen.
You're like yelling at these computers for glitching out. You're like, fuck! Are you fucking updating right now? Don't you restart? Don't you restart on me, motherfucker?
See, I feel like you would be the opposite of what I know about you, because you like I imagine you not wanting to talk to people. Just give me my fucking food. Don't talk to me. Just let me hit the button, because the button is a lot more reliable than a human. You know.
I hate most of the human race, but I am very social. It's a weird blend to have. So I am outgoing, and I do enjoy talking to people. I also get annoyed very quickly when people are stupid and they fuck shit up. Like, come on. I used to be a lot nicer. Then I had cancer and I almost died, and I realized how important my time is. So like every grain, every second is a grain in the hourglass gone. So like every motherfucker that fucks shit up, I'm just like, fuck you. I'm gonna die soon. Like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing to me? What? Give me my tacos.
Don't waste my time. My life is precious.
Give me them. You know they're gonna taste good. Come on. That's my life now.
I work in academic publishing, and I work on journals of cancer research, and I've never before seen the article that says cancer survivors angrier at fast food employees. Studies find out.
It's with everything. I'm angry with everything.
I mean, it does, especially if you go through chemo, it definitely does change your personality and stuff like that. Sometimes it can be very drastic, and sometimes it just, it amplifies things.
I just view time differently, and so it's one thing if it's an honest mistake or something, like I'm not a dickhead, but like if it's just people being fucking dickheads just to be dickheads, I'm just like, I don't have patience for this anymore at all. I have no chill at all when it comes to fuckery is the thing. Yeah, honest mistakes, sure, that shit happens, but yeah. Motherfuckers fucking around, I will kill somebody. I swear to God. Yeah, it's a good time.
What about you, Melissa? Because you mentioned you've been on the opposite end of that, and so besides these people who want to eat the whole fucking turkey, I'm sure you have stories from the opposite end of the counter.
Not really, because it was pretty much just like, please, can I have pepper jack and ham? And I'm like, here's your pepper jack and ham, and they're like, okay, because they've already like prepaid before they've gone through the cafeteria line, so I don't have to worry about charging or anything. The only thing is that like this was such a sloppy work study thing. Like, it's a cafeteria, it kind of always needs help, so you don't have like a set shift. It's like, show up when you can show up between classes and we'll find a job for you. So you never have like real official training. So when the guy's like...
Sounds like a prison.
Yeah, well, that's why I got out of there, and I went to the library, and the library was the best. But the story I came prepared with, mine also involves tacos. There's a Taco Bell...
All good stuff.
Yeah, there's a Taco Bell by my office that, like... A couple years ago, I think, like, once or twice, like, just after Taco Bell had introduced their breakfast, I stopped there in the mornings for breakfast before I went into the office. and there was this guy who worked the drive-thru, and he was completely normal, completely just sort of like dull, flat affect. I'm just doing my job, you know, I'm not crabby, but I have like no personality either, just like flat, bland drive-thru employee. But he'd be like, all right, your total is $7.45, honey, and sweetheart, if you pull up to the next window, like, but completely flat. He's not trying to flirt, he's not winking, he's not smiling. You take out the pet names, it's otherwise 100% normal drive-through behavior.
Like
and he just throws that in there. I don't know, it was so weird. Like,
damn.
If you're gonna be, like, charming and friendly and flirty, like, go for it. Not, like, say the word like you're just...
Like, well, hey there, sweetheart. If you move on to the next window, we'll take care of you.
Like, do or don't. And, like, it didn't bug me so much that it was so weird that I was amused by it more than anything else, because it was such a bizarre interaction. And he did it,
Do you think he got, like, a talking to? I wonder if it was, like, he normally, like, all right, pull forward.
Don't be so...
And his manager's probably like, be a little more personal with people. Just pep it up a little bit. And he's like, okay. I'm gonna crank it up. I'm like, it's like, why? You know, like, what? Why would it be like that?
I was thinking the opposite of, like, he was, like, a little bit too, like, hey, do not hit on the customers.
Hey, girl.
They do not like that.
I bet you do want that grande meal. I bet you do. Yeah. Which one? Look at that. Is it cool and refreshing? Yeah. It's like, Gary, we're gonna get another lawsuit. You need to, like, just calm this fucking down a little bit. I just asked about that queso, dog. That's it. Yeah. Damn.
He did it once, and I went through the drive-thru like a month later, and it was him again, and he did it again. And then I just happened to not go to that Taco Bell for breakfast again for like another couple years. This was like 2 months ago or something, and it was at night. It was a night Taco Bell run, and I guess this guy switched shifts or something, because it was him again, I swear it. And he did it again exact same way. And it was, like, amusing before, like, 2 or 3 years ago, but now it's like, you're still doing that? Nobody's stopped you? You're still at it. Okay. Like, buddy, now's the time to stop.
Damn.
It's not fun anymore.
You have not gotten any better at this, have you?
Damn.
That's so funny.
And, like, I like the cute pet names from, like, wait staff. You mostly get it from, like, older women, but, like, if a handsome young waiter throws in a sweetheart, like, I'm not one to complain, but, like, this was just weird. Like, why is there no feeling behind it? It's just flat. That was scary.
Once more, with passion.
He's just like a mannequin. That they just programmed pet names in there with no emotion. Like, emote or don't.
It's like how Mitt Romney tries to be human. Hello, fellow humans. Like, oh, God, this is, like, painful. This is not how you talk. Oh. That is beautiful. That just reminded me, though, so I went to this vocational school when I was in high school, and so, like, half the day I did this culinary arts program, and then I'd go to the regular high school for, like, the rest of the day. And, like, halfway through my junior year, we got this dude in, and he looked like Don Mattingly. He always wore a New York Yankees hat, and he had this sweet mustache. And every day he was like, "Hey guys," and he was like super peppy, and he smiled all the time.
He's like
all the time.
Like the dude from Office
No,
Space.
he was always like, "Hey, like today's great. Oh, the sun is shining and it's gorgeous. It's so good." Like, he was sitting, and, like, I was a very, like, depressed teenager, so I was like, a fucking guess, dude, get away from me. Like, I was like that, I was that bitch. So, this guy he was just like this for months, and then finally one day, to the instructor, I was just complaining because I was an asshole. I was like, what is his problem? Why is he so happy all the time? And she got, like, real serious, and she, like, legit took me into her office. She's like, come here. Okay, so that guy literally was, like, a pimp and a coke dealer, and, like, he got, like, shot and, like, stabbed, and he almost died. And so now he's turned his life around, and he's just happy to be alive. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, shit.
Second match, like, oh, bitch better have my money. I was like, okay, never mind. I was like, oh shit. So yeah, be careful with the happy ones. They're dangerous.
God damn.
Oh.
I don't hang out with grumpy people.
I when you first mentioned him, I was thinking about the guy from Office Space. You've seen that movie,
I live that
right?
movie. Love it. Oh my god.
Yeah. Where Jennifer Aniston is at the restaurant, and there's the dude that has like 36 pieces of flair.
Yes.
Hey there, guys! Welcome to Bennigan's or whatever
It's
restaurant
called
we're at now.
Tchotchkes. I don't know why I remember that.
Welcome to Tchotchkes.
Hey.
Hey. That's terrible. I had another time where it was a Subway that I went to, and this was one where the woman making my sandwich very obviously did not give a shit about her job at all.
If I worked at Subway, I'd fucking hate life too.
I mean, it's apparently Subway is like has now surpassed McDonald's in like the highest grossing fast food chain
How
globally.
is that possible?
Because you like McDonald's has so many different machines. They do all different types of stuff. They take up a lot of space, but Subway only needs those little small like restaurants.
So they've got a
who don't
smaller
really,
overhead.
Yeah.
I bet it's also
exactly.
like catering, like people just getting like big 6-foot party subs or like little sandwich platters for their office.
I mean,
You know, I want 20 people to
like,
get food poisoning. Make it happen. Yeah.
Or that, or like, I want 100 chicken nuggets. Y'all hook me up.
My mom did that once. My mom did that once. We were on our way to a family Christmas party, and we brought food, but she's like, I don't think we brought enough food. And so she goes through a KFC.
Give me all the chicken nuggets you got.
She goes through a KFC drive-thru, and I think she asks, like, you guys have popcorn chicken now? Can I have 100 pieces of popcorn chicken? And I could, like, hear their blood boiling from out in the car. She's going through the drive-thru, like, give me all the popcorn chicken you have. I have to feed my giant Irish Catholic family for Christmas.
Damn.
And it took them, like,
Terrible.
25 minutes, but they did it, and we all ate it.
Damn.
That reminds me of something else, but first, the Subway story. So I'm a very picky eater, and on my Subway sandwich, I was just getting a ham and cheese that day with basically nothing else on it because I'm a fucking child. And I only got mustard on my sandwich because I really like mustard.
Are you a mustard man?
Yes, I am definitely a mustard man. I fucking hate
They call
mayo.
you Colonel Mustard, in fact.
There you go. But so I asked for mustard, and without even looking, she picks up the mustard and just goes for it. And she is just squirting mustard on this thing, not even looking at how much she's putting out. And this is like the whole goddamn bottle. I'm like, whoa, that is enough. Thank you. And by the time like she stopped, it was just like, can I have a sandwich with that mustard, please? Like, and like I said, I like mustard, but this I had to like take a napkin and like scrape it off. I was like, this is like, that's disgusting. It was like mustard soup. It was gross.
Always get your condiments on the side, I guess, because otherwise they're like, all of it you said.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, and fuck you.
So the 100-piece chicken nugget story reminds me of something else.
Yes.
When I first moved to Richmond, I lived in this apartment building basically right on campus. I was on the 18th floor.
Oh, yeah.
And right behind it, there was a Domino's, and then there was a fried chicken place. And at night, that was not a place you wanted to be. And so one day, I'm hanging out with one of my friends, and we're like, yo, let's go eat there. Let's go to New York John John's. Which was not actually its name, but that's what we called it. It was New York something I think the guy's name was John, so John was somehow in there, but we all called it New York John Johns. And
because that sounds
we
like
go
a speakeasy,
in there,
but okay.
and we go in there, and they haven't updated the inside since the 70s, and everything just looks and smells like there is a thick layer of grease on everything.
There probably
it is
was.
disgusting. And we're looking at their menu, and on their menu, not even as a like, hey, we do catering thing, they had a 100-piece meal. And this was not chicken nuggets, this was not popcorn chicken, this was like drumsticks and like chicken breasts and stuff. It's like, who would ever just walk in here and order that?
An entire floor of the dormitory.
So much weed. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but you'd have to like, you'd have to like reserve the whole restaurant and like, hey, we're having a birthday party here.
At New York John John's. It's my son's favorite. He's 4.
Damn.
Can we bring a clown in here, please?
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I just walked in and saw one there.
It's just a clown. Clown's gotta eat too.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
But it was not a place you wanted to be, but the food was actually not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was what you would. I mean, it was what you would expect from like really greasy fried chicken, which is sometimes the best, right?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want it too dry, or you don't want it like undercooked. Like it was actually fairly good, but it was like, yeah, we're still never coming back here again.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was awful.
We went to this karaoke place. It's called Sam Pam, and it's like, I guess by day it's like an Asian fusion restaurant, and then at night it's like the diciest fucking bar you've ever seen. And we'd gone a few places, and this is like a long time ago, pre-children, when I had a social life. And so it was like me and I think one other dude, and then there's like a whole bunch of ladies that we just happened to be hanging out with. And yeah, I think it was me and Peter, yeah, my brother, and we were just doing some karaoke, and they all like went to the bathroom together, and when they were gone, this old black man walked up to me and saluted me like I was a general, because he thought I was a pimp and they were my bitches. I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. I was like, this is a really awkward situation, my dude. And then at the end of that night, someone was yelling at that guy, just like, "I'm gonna cut you, motherfucker!" And we were like, "It's time to go, bye!" And we never went back. But
peace, we're getting out of here.
It was great. But yeah, that was whoa, woo.
Melissa is dropping things.
I've got these rocks. When I was in Chicago, I went to Shed Aquarium, and I decided to just be a child again and fill up that little bag with rocks. Like, as many rocks as you can fit in the bag for, like, $8. I'm like, oh, cool, I just want rocks. So I've got them, like, here on my desk, and, like, to just keep my hands busy while I'm podcasting, I just have a rock. I just play with this rock like a child, and sometimes it goes wrong.
When I play with the rock, it goes wrong too.
Rocks go wrong.
The rock goes wrong real bad. Saying. Rehab. Just kidding.
No, so that reminds me of something else. Have you guys ever had people give you gifts because they think you're really into something, and maybe you said you liked it, or you were into it at a time, but that was like 10 years ago?
Yes.
So I've had that happen to me a whole bunch of times. My grandparents thought I used to be into collecting rocks. And I don't think I ever was. Like, I have no memory of ever, like, wanting to collect rocks. I think I was just so young, and I was just like, "Ooh, there's a rock, like shiny," like I'm gonna go pick it up, and they're like, "Oh, he likes rocks," And for years after that, they would like see an interesting rock and like save it for me, and I had no interest in these rocks at all. And I was just like, "What? Why is this?" Thanks. And without them knowing, like the next day, I would just go toss it somewhere.
Just make a wish, throw it into a pond. I feel.
And yeah, and then my mom does this all the time. Where one day, I think it was while I was at my grandparents' house, she bought me like a milk carton size of milk duds.
Too many.
The like caramel candies with chocolate around them, and they're good. I like them. I have a huge sweet tooth, so I eat candy all the time. My teeth are gonna rot out one day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Thanks, Mom. This is strange though. Like, why would you get me milk duds?" And she goes, "Oh, they're your favorite." And I was like, no. They're not anywhere near my favorite. I don't know why you would think that." And yeah, I was like, I don't think I've ever bought these. Like, this is the first time you've given them to me. Like, I don't understand this,
I mean, it says dud in the name. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, even they know they suck. I mean, come on.
Hey, I like them. They're good. But this was like an obscene amount
milk
of them.
It was just that's like, what they should call them. Milk okay.
Milk fines.
Milk I.
But what we figured out is the week before we went to go see a movie, and my mom got them at the movie theater, and she didn't eat the whole box. And so I was like, "Oh, can I have the rest of them?" And she thought that meant that they were.
Remember when I chose this thing and you finished them? That clearly meant that they were your favorite. Oh my god, that's something my mom would do.
That's what all moms would do. That
great.
also feels very strongly like a my mom sort of thing.
Yeah. It's just like, why? Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. I'm scared of being on the other side of that, where I'm the one overestimating how much somebody likes something. Like, our dad really liked Star Trek The Next Generation while it was still airing when we were little kids, and that, like, imprinted on us. Like, oh, Dad loves Star Trek. And I don't think he's that interested in Star Trek now that that's no longer on the air. Like, he went with us to the movies to see, like, the Chris Pine-averse. If he channel surfs into it, he'll watch, like, Wrath of Khan,
they have
but,
new
like...
Star Trek stuff on nowadays.
Yeah.
But still, yeah.
But, like,
I get what you mean.
Every year we're like, well, we could get Dad Star Trek stuff, and half the time we do it, and he's like, okay, cool. I'm like, that's good, but that's not what we were expecting.
Should we ask him, or
we should reevaluate how much we think Dad likes Star Trek? So I think this really goes both ways.
Should we just double down and just continue on this path that we've started, or should we ask him and like own up to our potential mistake and look like bad children?
For Christmas this year, because my dad doesn't need things. He's retired. He's got all the time and money he could need. He can take care of himself. So I haven't brought this up to my brothers yet, but so far my best idea for a gift for Dad is just like one of those nice framed photos that says like family and like an inspirational quote, and it's like a bunch of little frames stuck together.
Laugh, love.
Yes, I want one of those, and it's going to be photos of all of us kids and his motorcycle. Just like it's also a child.
I heard Murdercycle for a minute, and I was like, go. Like, damn, this story just got real awesome.
He'd better not.
We got you a Murdercycle.
I don't think vigilanteism is something he's going to take up as a retirement hobby. He's more of like a woodworker. But yeah, he's got this bike. He loves this bike. He became a Harley man. Like, that is what he's spending his retirement doing. He went hard into Woodworking, Harley Davidson. Those are the 2 dad paths he picked. So I just want a nice picture of his motorcycle along with the children and grandchildren.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all the things you love, Dad.
That is cool.
That's crazy. I remember one summer we were out visiting my grandparents, and they both live out in Montana and Wyoming. That's how they found such interesting rocks. Because there's nothing else out there except cows. Or are there cows? Because there seems to be a shortage of steak.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Those are ground beef cows, Kyle.
On a roll. So we were driving from, I think, Montana to Wyoming, and it was right in the middle of Sturgis, which is like the big Harley motorcycle rally. We're all gonna get on our bikes and hang out and go across country, and just everyone there was on their Harleys, but they all had this like call sign that they would do to like say hello. Like it was almost like them doing the peace sign, except they would hold it down. Like I don't know if you guys can. I mean, you guys can, but on stream they would like hold their arm like straight down, almost. And it was just this peace sign thing.
I haven't seen that specifically, but I believe it to be true. There's so much weird like subculture and superstition around bikers.
It's number 2. I need a poop break.
Yeah, it was
number 2. Pull over.
I think it was something like that, but then my dad started noticing it, and he thought it was the funniest thing in the world, so he would roll down his window and he would start doing it, even though we were in some like minivan, you know. It's like, what, Dad? No, stop. What are you doing? You're not one of them, Dad.
Maybe that's how it starts. Yeah. Maybe he'll become one of them. I did not know my dad was
fellow murdercyclists.
I didn't know my dad was a bike man until suddenly one day he had a bike.
He was.
Like, it can take over a father very suddenly. Talk to your dad about motorcycles, please.
There you go.
So my mom mostly is the one that gets me the weird, unwanted. And she'll get me things related to things I like. Like, I play guitar, and I've played guitar for like 20 years, and I love guitar. But like, she'll give me like a guitar tie or like a guitar lamp. Like, when I tried to do, you know. I'm not a good liar. I'm a really bad liar. So when I don't like something, I kind of like, thank. I'm just not good at faking it. And finally, I was like, Mom, I appreciate it, thank you, but just you don't have to give me stuff like this. Like I like guitars, and guitars are expensive, so I certainly don't expect anyone to buy me one. I don't have that many because they're expensive. But like, I don't need a guitar like poster. Right? Like I don't need, like, she bought me a lamp. Like a legit, I used to have a guitar lamp. I finally gave it to the Goodwill, but I was like, I don't need the guitar lamp, Mom. Like I can't wear the guitar tie because I look like a substitute fucking teacher. Like I can't do it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mom.
Our regular fucking teacher is out sick.
But Eric, you're not hardcore unless you live hardcore.
Well, you know the subs. Okay, you know how the subs try harder though. You know the subs are like, no, I'm cool though, kids. I got a feathered mullet, and I listen to Kiss. All right, so I'm one of the cool subs. You know what? You can call me Derek. That's what I had. It was like, I'm wearing my dark jeans. Yeah, I'm one of you people. That's every sub I ever fucking had.
You guys can play on your phones or do something. I'm just gonna sit here, you know.
Cell phones didn't really. I mean, cell phones existed when I was in high school, but I graduated in '99, so like, I had a cell phone. I assumed you were a drug dealer back then, because they were very expensive back then.
They were suitcases back then.
Everyone had pagers. Everyone had pagers. That was the thing back then. Like, yo, dog, blow my pager. I'm old. That's the whole time.
Beepers.
Beepers were the thing. Yeah. We had a fucking payphone hallway, so you'd be like, oh, my girl's blowing me up, and you'd have to go to the fucking payphone in the hallway and pump the quarters in it. Well, that's how we used to do. Oh, yeah. I knew, like, 2 kids that had cell phones when I was in high school. And one of them was, in fact, a legit drug dealer. So, yeah. They were expensive back then. Times have changed, baby. Woo.
That's funny. Hey, it's almost Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We're recording this the weekend before like the big Thanksgiving, Black Friday, all of that shindig and stuff. What do you guys do for the holidays? Like, do you guys have traditions, or like what are your favorite things to do during the holidays? Silence.
No
one likes
trying
doing
to-
I've got
anything.
plenty to talk about. So, like, let Eric go first, because otherwise I will
You
take
guys
up the
hate
rest
fun,
of the show.
don't you?
Alright.
No, I will talk too much. I'm wary.
I'm fond of the fun. All right, I'll go first. I do
Then-
I do the same thing every year. So, Tessa's grandparents live in this tiny little town called Lomas down in Oregon. The closest quote-unquote big city is Corvallis, where the Oregon Beavers are from. It's a small college town, but it's
Mhm.
absolutely enormous compared to Corvallis. I think Corvallis is like 4,000 people or something. It's really small. Maybe it's not quite that small. It's really tiny. Anyways, they just live in this tiny little city, and they have like chickens in their backyard. It's a trip.
Huh.
And they go out every morning and collect the eggs from the chickens. And they've
Oh.
been retired for a long time. They're in their early 80s, so they spend all day in their garage. They call it the shop. They hang out all day in the shop, and they start drinking pretty early. And grandma drinks Keystone Light, and Grandpa drinks his tater juice, his really cheap vodka with Diet Pepsi. And then they just proceed to slowly get nice and evenly toasted and watch like fucking westerns and whatever all day. And
That's hilarious.
and my grandma's like 70 pounds. She's like real small. She's really tiny, and they have this wood stove, and it doesn't matter what time of year it is, because we've gone in like August when it's fucking 100 degrees out, and they still have the stove on. So it's always really hot in there, and they're always drinking. So it's like perfect nap time. It's
Mhm.
it's great for like a day. 'Cause I'm like, oh, it's great.
You're drunk.
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're
just like, this is
warm, and
great.
it's
I'm just gonna-
fantastic.
Gonna sleep. So the first day when I get there is like just kind of napping in a chair in the garage. That's day one. And I always bring a giant
Excuse me.
pile of reading material, and I get caught up on a lot of the books that I've fallen behind on because it's really boring there and there's nothing to do. So I
Yup.
read mountains of read. I drink a ton of beer. I don't get drunk. I just slowly over the course of the day will have some beers. And yeah, the kids just run around and bounce on everything. And there's they make horrible coffee. I should mention that they make horrible coffee. They have this like 1950s
Ugh.
percolator thing, and then once the coffee runs out, her dad does this. Oh, it's time for the percolator. It's time for the oh, don't get me started on that one. That's one of my favorite videos ever. But when the coffee runs out of that percolator, her dad will just add more water. Not any more coffee. Just add more water, so it just gets like grosser and more watered down. But even though this is this tiny little town, it has the greatest donut shop I've ever had. It's called Nutcakes. Fucking delicious. And I love donuts. So like,
excuse you?
So good.
Nutcakes?
Yes, it's called Nutcakes. Trust me. 15-year-old me was like, hee. First time I saw it, trust me. But like, I always make an excuse to like, oh, I'm just gonna go for a walk 'cause it's real pretty outside, and I just walk and get a good cup of coffee at the Nutcakes and get myself a delicious donut, and it's so dope. And the town's really pretty. It's got
There you
like
go.
cool old like churches and these really cool looking trees, and so I'll often bring my camera with me and just take some moody black and whites as I'm walking around. Be all artsy and shit. Yeah, I was still using my film camera last time, so I got some looks from the yokels, like that 35mm film we got there. But yeah, that's a good chunk of what we do, and we just hang out with family. But yeah, they just hang out in the garage all day, all the time. It's
Whoa.
Jotnamus in the chat is mentioning tamales. That's
Hell yeah.
Their new
Ooh, yes,
tradition.
I like that. I should
I
incorporate that.
love those.
I don't know if they were tamales or not. When I lived in Texas for a year, I think I had some. I guess it was tamales stuffed with cream cheese and wrapped in
It
bacon.
does not sound like a tamale.
And
It doesn't
I
sound
like cream
right.
cheese.
Doesn't
and I like bacon, but yeah, I mean, it was like a pepper.
That's like
thing. It was
white...
a tamale, but it was like stuffed.
That's just
that's a white girl tamale. Yeah,
what part of this makes it a tamale?
That's like a Becky tamale.
They weren't spicy at all. But it was. I was like, I've never had one of these before. I'll try it.
No, tamales are fucking delicious.
And I did, and I was like, no, thanks.
God. Yeah.
Okay.
Melissa, what about you?
Okay, so this is what I was so excited about, like, while we were still getting the stream and everything set up. Christmas time in St. Louis means the planetarium gets all dressed up. Okay, so St. Louis has a thriving museum scene. I feel like out-of-towners don't know this, but we've got good museums and we've got a good science center
didn't know it.
with a big, big planetarium. I am sending you a picture of the planetarium with the bow on it. And it's
I like big planetariums, and I cannot lie.
It's a weird building. I don't know how to describe the shape of this. It looks like you turned a funnel upside down. I don't know.
We'll put the link to this in the description of
Yeah,
the
I'll find a
podcast.
good picture of the planetarium to share with you guys.
And maybe one day I will set it up so... whoops, let's see. Maybe one day I will set it up so we can show internet stuff on the stream. Yeah, that is a huge bow. It looks like the top of like a milk carton or like an old like milk bottle.
Here.
But it has a bow.
Look at... This is a picture of a person putting it on there. Look at how big it is compared to that little person.
Yeah, it looks giant. Wow, yeah,
Yep,
that is huge.
Okay, so every Christmas, starting in like mid-November, they put a big red bow around the outside of the planetarium because it's this weird funnel shape and it's bright white and they just decorate it with this red bow and it's officially Christmas when the planetarium gets its bow on. Like, it's the most exciting sight every year. It warms my heart. I love it deeply. It's a local star. As much as the stars you can see inside of it being a planetarium. And I was Googling this to find pictures of it to show you guys. And apparently the history of this thing is that in 1966, students from Washington University's School of Architecture put a bow up there as a prank. As like a loving prank. Like, they loved the planetarium. They thought it looked super cool. And so they snuck up there like early in the morning on Christmas morning, and like a bunch of kids just clambered up there and tied this bow around the planetarium, and then they kind of like raised awareness of it. Like, they'd fake call like local radio stations like, hey, KMOX, did you hear there's like a big bow on the planetarium? Well, I don't know who did it. And it ended up being a big hit. And then the next year, the Science Center contacts those kids. Like, they figured out who it was. I think they left, like, a little calling card that said, you know, Merry Christmas, love, Washington University School of Architecture. Yeah. They contacted the school, and they're like, can you guys do it again? The kids are like, oh, I don't know if we want to do it again. And the Science Center's like, okay, we'll just do it ourselves then. And so... every Christmas. And then when it turned 50 years old, they did a gold bow instead of a red bow. So there's that. That's like St. Louis's entirely as a city, the cultural city holiday tradition.
There you go. Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys celebrate Christmas?
Yes.
Yes. Sounds that Eric is looking down on his phone. He said yes. Do you guys open up presents Christmas morning? Or the night before?
We've always done it Christmas morning, except one year we had to leave to visit our grandparents super early, so we did it Christmas Eve that one time.
Christmas morning now. When I was a kid, we got to the point where we would do it on the 23rd every year because me and my brothers would harass our parents so much that they only made it till the 23rd. And then, so this was like in the mid 90s. We got to the point where it was like at the night of the 23rd. What's up? Cave. Yeah. All memories. Nowadays, Christmas.
Because, so, it's a kind of a big contention in my family. Kind of. So my mom's side always opened up gifts the night before on Christmas Eve. And then my dad's side of the family always did it the morning of, which makes sense to me. Like, that's Christmas morning. Like, that's what you're supposed to go do. And we have some new visitors, it looks like.
Hi.
For those of you guys listening in, Eric's kids are invading the podcast.
Aw.
I don't know if you can even really see them on here.
Hi.
They're saying hi. They're just off camera for where you are, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not getting.
But
yeah, I see you have the new thing is slime right now. God, that's God.
like Nickelodeon slime
like
stuff.
Oh.
Dark green in. You're flipping off Kyle right now. Look at that. You, Kyle, with slime though. That's beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah, that the slime. Slime isn't. Oh, it's so gross. Oh. Hey, what?
Let me feel that.
Well, yeah, because it's gross.
No one likes the throwing up.
Mm-mm.
But no, so my parents would argue back and forth of what day do you actually open presents up on. And my dad was like, "No, it's stupid. You open it up Christmas morning. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what they do in the movies. Like, come on.
We follow the
Like,
movies.
that's just how it's supposed to be." But my mom always grew up opening all of the gifts the night before. And then it was only the ones from Santa that they opened up on Christmas morning. And my dad was always like, "No, we are not doing that in this house. If anything, we can do stockings the night before. We can open up that stuff because it's little smaller knickknacks and, we're all just hanging out anyways. But no, you open up the gifts Christmas morning." And I agree with my dad, but
Yeah.
I've since met, I think, like one or two other people that did the same thing. They opened up their stuff the night before, and I was like, "No, what is wrong with you people? Like, this is you are ruining Christmas." But yeah. So I just wanted to ask because that was something that I always had to deal with in my house.
We have my brother and I, my younger brother Jams and I developed our own Christmas Eve tradition like 8 years ago or something. Like, neither of us could drive yet. We just decided, hey, let's make some cookies and like take them over to our friend's house if mom will drive us. And mom's like, "Oh, sure, that sounds fun." And they live like 5 minutes away. So we brought a friend some cookies one Christmas Eve. And the next year, we took him to like that friend and like two other friends that lived in the same neighborhood. And it's just started growing from there, like, especially after, like, I got a car, to the point where it's like, okay, we've got 16 houses we have to deliver to on Christmas Eve, and we make this big itinerary, and we drive all around town, just delivering cookies to everybody on Christmas Eve, and they all know, like, to expect it, like, they'll let us know, like, a week ahead of time, like, hey, I'll be at my parents' house on Christmas Eve, just come straight over there, and bring all the cookies. And
Have you started to pass this tradition on to other people? Because what happens when one day you can't make it and there's no cookies? You're gonna let down an entire.
So you're saying
How
we
dare
should
you?
have
You set an
backup?
expectation now.
You're one day, Melissa. You're going to ruin Christmas.
No, I'll go. Jams will go. We can make our mom go. We'll make somebody go. And, like, it's not always Christmas Eve. Like, it's usually Christmas Eve, but there are some people that, like, are out of town and will go by their house on, like, the 27th or something like that. But everybody gets a box of cookies, and I make these whiskey glazed pecans that everybody, like, loses their mind for. And, like, it's the easiest thing in the world to make. Like, you can do it yourself at any time. I'm not making this a secret. And they're like, no, it's better when you bring them. Like, you make the pecans for me. And it's fun. And, like, that's become what people
Whiskey
know me
and
for.
pecans, you see.
Yeah, it's
So good.
just whiskey, cinnamon, sugar, pecans, and stove. The secret ingredient is
Yeah.
stove.
Fire.
Like, I went to a
Nice.
wedding a couple weeks ago, and there were so many people that were like, oh, I haven't met you, but I've had cookies you've made.
I've had your cookies.
And then, like, as friends, like, move, as we all grow up, they move out of their parents' houses. Sometimes we'll be like, okay, here's cookies for you, and we are making a separate trip to your parents. Like, we've gotten to know them over the years. Like, we're not cutting them out of this, so we have, like, so much small talk with friends' parents that is, like, 10 minutes longer than it needs to be, but we still cherish that connection, because every year they know to look for us, and, like, they'll give us cookies in return, and we make these Christmas
amazing.
cards every year, and they're, like, pop culture Christmas cards. Like, the very first year, just as a joke, I photoshopped the both of us into a picture of the Full House family, like, at Christmas time. Like, there's, Uncle Joey and Uncle Jesse and us, the Wilkinsons also.
happened to predictability?
Yep.
Oh,
So we printed those off and included them in the boxes, and then the next year was, like, the year of that Oscars selfie, so we put ourselves in that, and then the year after that, was the year Mad Max Fury Road came out, so we made a card that said Mad Snacks Cookie Road, and, like, I photoshopped us on there.
Mad snacks, son. I got mad snacks,
spraying your face up. Whitney!
So every year we make these cards, and, like, there are, like, elderly parents of friends that keep these cards, even though I know they don't know, like, what the pop culture joke is. They're just like, yeah, the Wilkinsons bring me this every year, so it gets brought out every Christmas and put on the wall, just like the two of us
Amazing.
photoshopped into, like, Power Rangers or something like that.
There you go.
So
that's
That's rad.
fantastic.
So that's
though.
what we do on Christmas Eve, is cookie delivery.
My family has gotten more and more lazy
Ugh.
to the point where it's just like we'll do our gift opening that morning, but that's kind of about it.
Yeah.
That's, like, all we do. Like, we'll hang out, we'll watch sports or something on TV. My parents might watch a Christmas movie. I'm not really in the mood for them usually. I don't like them all that much. Which I know some people out there are, like, unsubscribed now. I like one of my favorite Christmas movies is Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, and yes, it takes place during Christmas, okay, and it's an anime. Shut up.
This is
okay?
like the nerdier version of the Die Hard argument.
Yeah, it's like the otaku version of that. But it's Gundam during Christmas. Eric's sitting here like, these fucking dorks, god damn it. But yeah, like, we'll do our own thing. They're in bed by, like, 9 p.m. I'm gonna stay up late, like, on the internet, fucking around and stuff like that.
Yep.
We don't do much. Like, it's gotten to the point where it's like, this is kind of depressing. We should do something fun.
Yeah. Like, it does kind of get lackadaisical after a while, where it's like a nice day, but there's nothing that really celebrates Christmas from just, like, a very good Sunday or something like that. But we've got a kiddo now. Like, my niece is 2 years old, so, like, Christmas is turned all the way up to 10 for her. A child will rejuvenate Christmas. So much more hats and wrapping paper and sparkly stuff and the whole deal.
I can attest to that. Yes, definitely.
Eric, I have a question for you, and you might, depending on your answer, need to speak in a hushed voice so your kids don't hear. How do you Now,
They're
how
upstairs
do you
now.
deal with the whole Santa thing? Like, do they believe in Santa? Have you told them? When are you going to tell them? What are you gonna say? Are you just gonna smack them and be like, all right, listen up. Here's how it goes, or what?
So I don't like the Santa thing personally. My kids do believe in Santa. Here's the problem with it. You can't be like the realistic parent, right? And tell your kid there's no Santa. You can't do it. Because even if it's like your personal belief, literally what's the little kid going to do? They're going to run to school and tell every fucking kid. So you can't. It's like a social contract where you're not allowed to. And I'm stubborn. Part of me is like, well, fuck that. But I don't know. Also, man, I'm poor, man. I work real hard. So, like, I don't want a fat man getting credit for my hard work, damn it. I bought that shit. Me.
That's my
baby.
goddamn
Where's
money.
Santa's job? Santa ain't got no job. Santa is in slave labor. You think them elves get paid? Nah, he beats them. Shit. Bullshit. So yes, they do believe in Santa, and we definitely do the, Santa gifts. And well, the problem I get into though is like I have a bad memory, and so I can never remember. And so I'll be like, "Hey, do you like that thing I bought you?" And be like, "Oh, that's the one Santa gave me." I'm like, that's funny because I remember picking it up at Target, but okay.
That's not what my
Good job,
credit
Santa.
history says.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, according to Mr. Wells Fargo. Yeah.
Who's Wells Fargo?
It's a whole
Is he
thing.
friends with Santa?
It is. I'm not too into Christmas myself. I don't like capitalism, and I think it's a horrible system, and I'm not materialistic, so like I'm like that asshole. But I like that my kids are into it, and seeing them be super stoked is really, really cool. And so yeah, it's cool to see them get excited for it. Where like before they came along, it got to the point in like my mid-20s where Christmas got really depressing, and like I didn't even see most of my family. I like hung out with my brother Peter and like one of our like friends. In one year we literally bought presents for each other at the mall, and I think it was partly out of obligation because we were all hanging out together and felt like we needed to. And so like it's like nothing was wrapped, and it was just like, here, I just bought this for you at Best Buy just now, there you go. And yeah, so now it's like having kids, having the whole like countdown and the build up to it, and reading all the stories and leaving cookies out for Santa and stuff. Like, I like seeing them excited about it, and believing in like the kind of magic behind it.
But like,
so it's cool for that.
Because they're what's the age difference between Kate and Emma?
They're 3 years apart. They're 4 and 7.
So at some point, you're probably gonna tell one of them and be like, "Hey, here's the deal, but you gotta play along."
I mean, if they're anything like me, they're just gonna figure it out, and then I'm gonna have to like come clean. It's like I walked in on my parents wrapping presents, and then they told me that it was like for poor smelly kids or some shit like that.
Poor smelly kids.
Yeah, but then it was like, but then I saw like I remember that Superman action figure though. That was in the pile.
Mom, Dad,
bullshit.
You've been lying.
Am I the smelly kid? Damn. Yeah. What are you trying to say?
This is what you think of me?
Yeah. How old is Ice? Yeah, so Christmas itself, though, it's super mellow at my house. I just, because Thanksgiving, we always go visit, Tessa's family and do kind of like a mini vacation. And so for Christmas, it's always just at my house. Because the thing is, I had kids before anyone else. We had the first grandkids in our generation. On both sides of the family, and so I like planted the flag. I was like, boom, my house suckers. Because it used to be we, for years for dating, we didn't see each other because she would always go home because she's from Atlanta, which I totally understood. And then we got married, it was like, well, let's try to like take turns, and that never seemed to work out. But the minute we had kids, I was like, well, if you want to see the babies, you gotta come over to my house. And so Christmas is any friend and family is welcome on Christmas, but you have to know that I'm gonna be in my pajamas all day, and I'm gonna give 0 fucks. So like, if you're cool with that, you're welcome over. Thanks,
Cousin Eddie, is that you?
I am Cousin Eddie in my family. I swear, I'm starting to suspect. No, that's definitely Sean. But Yeah, the thing, Christmas Eve, we always go out to my mom's house, and she lives like an hour away, so it's not too bad. And usually, like, one of Tessa's parents is visiting, so like they'll go out with us and stuff. So we'll do like we'll open presents with my mom, and my mom's always invited over, but she usually doesn't come over on Christmas. Christmas Day super mellow. It's the Christmas Eve's a little more formal, but still like super chill. Yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot better these days, definitely, since having kids gives you that focus on making it exciting for them. Definitely.
Yeah. There you go.
Where?
Yes, Jotnamus, you are also invited to the Christmas party at Mannix's house.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna
we're
need
all
some of them.
just gonna-
I'm gonna need some of them tamales though. If you can bring some tamales, you are more than welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Mexican food. I love it.
There you go. I don't know. I had a few other things, but they're not as important to talk about. Do you guys have anything else, or should we start wrapping it up?
I would just like to say, to mark this moment in history, it has already snowed 3 times in St. Louis, which is unseasonably early. It snowed like 5 inches yesterday. I didn't go to work.
Damn.
We got hit by rain. Like, New York is in like a foot of snow right now. We got hit by rain. It was just like cold rain. And my shoes got waterlogged twice in 1 week.
Ugh.
It was the fucking worst.
Yeah.
That's like complete day ruiner. Like,
Yes.
you're walking out in the rain, it's not that bad, but just the longer you're out there and your shoes just start to get wet and your socks get wet and it's just like, this is absolutely the worst thing.
You have to just get yourself
you're
a
like-
barefoot friendly office.
I took my shoes off. Was it Wednesday when it happened, or like Wednesday or Thursday when it happened? And I was just walking around in my socks, and I don't think anyone really noticed.
Yeah, there's a guy at my office that does that just most of the time.
I mean, like, I'm like stuck sitting at my desk most of the time, and I don't do much, and I don't have to like get up and talk to people. So most of the time, I'm just sitting there, and no one will know. But like, if I wanted to go like get my lunch, I would, do that. If I had to go to the bathroom, I would put my shoes back on, and then it was still just like, well, my shoes are kind of soggy. This is awkward and weird. I hope it's water.
You just have to get separate work shoes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our Patreon and
That was
buy
not
Kyle separate work shoes.
Yes, fuck your 401k
Buy
again,
more shoes!
and buy me some shoes by supporting us on Patreon.
Oh.
Patreon.com/the
Buy like
Whatnauts.
really posh like slippers. Just like bear slippers.
I do have some slippers that I wear. In fact, a couple years ago, that was a Christmas gift that my parents got me. You just sent me an image, I believe, and it popped up on the thing. Sorry, I have to do something really fast. I don't know what that was. I had a link that like popped up. Strange. But yeah, my parents got me these slippers, and it was one of those gifts that like at the time I was like, I don't need these. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And you're like, you're trying to smile and just be like, thanks. And then I came back, and being in the house that I'm in now, one of my roommates has 3 dogs. So there's dog hair everywhere, and there's dirt and all that stuff, and we have to sweep like twice a week just to keep up with it all. And the slippers were a godsend.
Yes.
To like not have them. I'm just like, yes, these are amazing. And I finally I wore them out, and I finally bought myself some new ones, and they have like memory foam, and they actually have like, they're actually more like slippers and not like sandals.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, these are amazing. These are so good. So good. Don't underestimate a pair of good slippers.
That's your advice for the season.
Yes, official advice from the Whatnauts. should we wrap it up there?
Yes.
Sure.
Sounds good to me. We mentioned Patreon already. The other kind of housekeeping that we need to say is kind of our usual stuff. Go follow us on YouTube if you have not already. You can just search the Whatnauts podcast and we will pop up there. Also, you can follow us here on Twitch. You can watch these podcasts live. thewhatnauts.com/live streams or twitch.tv/thewhatnauts. I think I mentioned that at the start of the show as well. But we could use your guys' support on both of those platforms. iTunes reviews are always super helpful. You guys can just search the Whatnauts and our stuff will pop up. What else? I believe that is it. Last, I guess by time this goes live, Melissa, you and I just did an episode of the review show on an anime called Wotakoi, I believe.
Watakoi. Love is hard for otaku.
There you go. What you said. It's a 12 episode rom-com about nerds in the office space.
It's fantastic.
So go check that out. That will be up on as a podcast and on YouTube and on our website, thewhatnauts.com. There we go. Eric, where can they find you on the interwebs?
I am at the Bobby Krogan on Twitter and Instagrams. There's also Eric Mannix Photography for my professional Instagram. Yes.
There you go. Melissa.
I am on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit, WILKYWIT. You can go to my Instagram and see all that snow for reals with your own eyes.
There you go. If you guys want to find me, you can get at me at Yo Kyle Springer on both Twitter and Instagram. And if you guys want to be kept up to date with all the updates for our shows, our podcasts, all of that stuff, you can follow us on Twitter at the Whatnauts. I never mention our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page too, but I fucking hate Facebook. But yeah, you can go share, subscribe, sell your soul, do all of that stuff that you need to do. This has been episode 29 of the Captain's Log. I guess the last important thing that I should mention, I don't think we're gonna do an episode next week since it's Thanksgiving weekend. Stuff
I will
like
be
that.
gone all week for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Getting drunk in the garage.
This episode will go live Black Friday for everyone, and so there won't be a live episode for people the week after that, I guess, if that makes sense.
Listen to this episode as you're punching an old lady to get a sick deal on a toaster.
There you go.
Loves Black Friday.
There you go. Yeah. Go punch old ladies, says Eric Mannix.
Only for sick deals. That's my flat screen.
Sick deals.
I'll finish the screen in the morning. Black Friday.
There you go. We will end things there. This has been episode 29 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. We will see you guys next week. Adios.
Hi.